Chris, where are we?
Bill's Pizza in Prescott, Arizona.
Yum. And I got the, what did I get again?
The Whiskey Row.
The Whiskey Row.
It's mid-March 2022 and we're not in the desert anymore, at least for now. We're in Prescott National Forest, just outside the city limits of Prescott, Arizona. We have a service appointment scheduled for both vehicles in town this week, which is why we sought out a campsite as close to the city as possible. And this free campsite, designated by the Forest Service, is the first one that you encounter right off the main dirt road. I think we're at around 6,000 feet in elevation, and temperatures up here are much, much cooler than they've been down around Tucson over the past couple months. But I've got more layers on now, and it is so refreshing to be in the tall trees again. At ROVERS North, a popular Land Rover parts supplier located in Vermont, on their website I found tow ring military JATE Defender with hardware for $27.50 each. That's a front tow loop that connects to the front of the frame of the Defender, and that should give me a satisfactory tow point with which to connect soft shackles. So I'm going to place this order and have them shipped to Summit 4x4 in Prescott, Arizona, where we have an appointment for the van later this week. I am no stranger to Prescott, Arizona. This is a major hub for overland travel and four-wheel drive adventure in general. Every year I swing by Prescott at least once, usually for vehicle service, but also to enjoy town and explore this amazing backcountry. It's a really cool place. There's an abundance of picturesque and also very gnarly four-wheel drive tracks to explore in the neighboring national forest just outside of town. Like this one. This is a lot of fun. Ooh. It is so profoundly peaceful in this valley. The wind is up right now, but you wouldn't know it because all the trees and the elevations provide plenty of shelter. You can hear it whooshing in the treetops, but that's about it. Great spot. I'm putting a pin in it. This whole valley seems to be lined with some really nice, secluded, dispersed campsites. There's no cell service here, so it is off-grid, and the track-in requires a four-wheel drive vehicle with at least a little bit of ground clearance. I was recently asked how do I like the stick shift compared to the automatic that I'm accustomed to driving with in the Jeep. For recreational four-wheeling on technical terrain, I definitely prefer a manual transmission. I like the gear reduction that it offers, and I feel like I have better control over my crawl speed. For general purpose overland travel, that assumes that you're going to be driving long distances, both on highway and off highway, so fatigue mitigation takes precedence. Obviously, that's going to come down to personal preference because manual transmissions really aren't that bad. But if I was speccing out a new build for overland travel, I would choose an automatic. On a semi-related note, if you're in the States and you're considering a right-hand drive vehicle, but you just don't know because it seems so awkward, don't sweat it. This being right-hand drive is a non-issue, and I got used to it in the first 30 minutes of driving. This is amazing. After spending so much time in the low desert in southern Arizona, it is wonderful to see flowing water and waterfalls again. It is really flowing, and there are multiple deep pools. One here, one down there, and another one down at the bottom. A few weeks ago, a good friend of mine sent me this setup. It's not a paid promotion or anything like that. It's just an interesting piece of equipment that he thought I might find useful. So he sent me this adapter shade panel with sweet spot kit from Force Protector Gear to basically give it a go. And that I'm happy to do, because when I'm out in the desert in the truck, one thing that I'm severely lacking is some shade. It's intended to be a sort of Swiss Army knife of awning shelters. Attach it to a tree, the side of a motorcycle, an SUV. Your imagination is the limit. I feel like this is a really slick and easy solution for shade and shelter if you're experienced setting it up and you know exactly how tall to make the poles, where to attach the straps. There's an endless number of ways that you can set this up. Different configurations with attachments, for instance. If you like that kind of versatility and flexibility, then this is for you. About 10 months ago now, I purchased an ARB air compressor kit from Agile Off-Road for our Winnebago Revel. We've been lugging around this air compressor kit uninstalled in its box in the shower in the van of all places, and I finally made an appointment to get it done at Summit 4x4 in Prescott, Arizona, which is where I'm at now. Summit has been my go-to shop for vehicle service whenever I'm in Arizona. They've really helped me keep RNG on the road over all these years, and I trust them entirely with any of my vehicles. They do a good job, and they're passionate about four-wheel drive. In fact, the business has grown immensely since I first visited. They still have their original location, which they currently use for vehicle sales, but now on the other corner of Prescott, they have this massive new shop with a showroom, and it's just an amazing space. They have a showroom, a service counter, parts counter, alignment rack. They're capable of doing fabrication. They have a waiting room, a conference room, a dozen bays, and plenty of parking for the projects that they're working on. Today, of course, Sam is installing the Agile Off-Road air compressor kit in the van, and he's also going to help me mount my 48-inch high-lift jack on the bed rail of the Land Rover.
Simplest thing. Okay, so that's my ignition wire then. I'm attempting to follow this wiring down the entire length.
For the Land Rover, I got this 48-inch high-lift x-treme jack from OK 4-Wheel Drive. I've had about a half dozen high-lift jacks over the years, and I don't really value them as an essential piece of equipment. Obviously, everyone's needs and use cases vary, but when you consider how frequently you need it compared to how cumbersome it is, I've deemed it not really worth it. For my Jeep and the Winnebago, I'd much rather have a sturdy hydraulic bottle jack. However, if you have an old Land Rover Defender that doesn't already have a jack and also has plenty of storage space in the pickup bed, a high lift jack is probably the right tool for the job. So we just mounted this on the inside bed rail with a high lift loc-rac for convenience and accessibility. The high lift loc-rac is effective in providing secure bed storage for your high lift jack. But honestly, it's a little bit crude and it's not rattle free, so it's not the most elegant solution, but for a utilitarian pickup truck, it works. And if there's one thing that I know about high lift jacks, if you leave the lifting mechanism exposed to the elements for an extended period of time, it will eventually jam up and stop working on you. I got this jack cover from High Lift that I just spilled my coffee on, so that was its first test. But this cover from High Lift should get the job done until I need my jack, in the event that I need to change a tire or perform a winching operation or something. As far as my tow hook situation goes, my new tow rings came in. And these are JATE military-style rings that replace the shipping eyelet on the front frame of the Defender. I think for military versions of the Defender, these are used for air transport. And it should be a suitable replacement for the shipping eye for a safe and sturdy recovery point in the front of the vehicle. Prescott, Arizona, one of my many homes away from home. It's good to be back, and I'm glad that I was able to get some exploring in this week, and I'm also extremely happy with the improvements that were made to both the van and the truck. A shout out and a big thank you is due to a few companies who help pull these vehicles together and have really helped keep the wheels turning over the years. Of course, OK Four-Wheel Drive in Stortsville, New Jersey, who has been with Venture Forward since the beginning. Summit 4x4 here in Prescott, who come to my rescue every time I break my junk. Agile Off-Road, who makes great equipment for Sprinter vans. And, of course, Sonoran Rovers in Tucson, Arizona, where I got the truck. I'm going to call that a wrap for the week and start editing this episode, but once this is published, we are going to leave Prescott and continue working our way north. Just as a reminder, my GPS waypoints and tracks are available to Patreon subscribers, and also points of interest are available on the THATCH travel app for iOS and Android. I'll put links to those in the description for this video. As usual, thanks for following along, and I'll see you next week.